All right. Well, I think we're already off to a great start here. Hey, everybody. This is Van Ebert here, here with Movies Merica. Spoiler warning. And apparently we're using some new studio software here today. And hopefully you can hear me. But one thing I just realized is not working on here is when you pick a video to play for your countdown, it will not play that. There's a play button on it, and even if you furiously click on the play button, it does nothing right there. So we're off to a great start here already, but we're going to manage, everybody. We're going to manage here. Technology problems be damned, all right, because it's not going to stop us from talking F1, all right, Brad Pitt's latest big blockbuster summer movie here, and it's actually the word of mouth movie here recently. So I've heard several people that I never hear talk about movies talking about F1 and how they've already seen it, or they are going to go see it because they've just heard way too many people talking about F1 here. So it's crazy. F1 fever is being caught. Okay, so I mean, everyone's got a F1 fever, and the only prescription isn't more cowbell. It's to go see F1. All right, so we're going to talk about more F1, but before we do that, let's see if this works at least.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
All right, pardon me while I do a little housekeeping over here. So there we go. All right. So this show is always fluid over here. We're always getting stuff prepared and that kind of thing. Always updating and improving, just for you who are watching the show right now. And I would be remiss if I didn't let you guys know that because this show is live, that means, of course, that you can live chat with me, and I, in turn, can communicate with you. And you don't have to just talk about F1. You can talk about, F1, the sport. You can talk about Brad Pitt movies, hell, movies in general, okay? And when it comes down to it, hey, I can't stop you from talking about whatever in the chat. Okay, you can chat about whatever the hell you want. If you're like weird and you get off on talking about rutabaga, in the chat, by all means, go ahead and do that right there. But and then also feel free to forward the link to this episode to anybody that has seen F1. Or anybody that likes movies, or even remotely suspect that they like movies there. You can definitely do that. I will not be offended whatsoever. But I just want to welcome in my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics as we head into the 4th of July weekend here. So, especially the fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. We're all about that freedom. We all like the 4th of July. And so, a lot of people have tomorrow off, obviously, for 4th of July. So what better way to ease yourself into the 4th of July weekend than just kicking back and joining me here for Movies Merica. Spoiler warning. You ever got that? You got that itchy nose thing going on? You're like trying to stop from sneezing there. I'm sure we've all gone through that right there. Absolutely. So there we go. All right. Well, hey, before I get started here talking about some F1, I'm going to take a tug off my beer here, and I'm going to be talking about this beer later on in brew review time, so that'll be coming up here a little later on. But until then, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. And so F1, one of the characters or one of the actors that we see in F1 is Javier Bardem, right? And Javier Bardem, it's surreal to me seeing him in this movie because it's been almost 20 years since the Coen Brothers' No Country for Old Men movie came out. And Javier Bardem played like that evil, calculating, maniacal, just cold-hearted killer Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. Remember, he had the big elephant gun with the suppressor on it. He had like the pneumatic, the pneumatic hose or whatever there with the pressurized tank on it and that kind of thing. He's going around and just ending lives, and it doesn't care whatsoever. All right, and he won an Oscar. I mean, that his role as Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men was so chilling and so impactful. He won a Best Supporting Actor Oscar for that, and now here, almost 20 years later on, he's in F1, and it's just weird for me slightly to see Javier Bardem in these movies, all the movies that he's been in since No Country for Old Men, where he plays like these friendly, charismatic, affable, just normal characters, right? After he played Anton Chigurh, and in F1, he's a charismatic, friendly, brotastic, just man of the world, just friendly all over the place as the owner of the F1 team that Brad Pitt is racing for, and so he plays Javier Bardem plays Ruben Cervantes. Pardon me, got the beer burps going on over here. So he's the guy. He's so Brad Pitt's character is Sonny Hayes. Okay, so Javier Bardem's Ruben Cervantes character, he's like he's bros with Sonny Hayes here, okay, and and so now Ruben Cervantes has gone on from being a fellow driver with Sonny Hayes back in the 90s to accumulating some measure of wealth somehow, enough to buy an F1 team, right? And now his F1 team is in deep shit, all right, and so he needs some kind of spark, right? And he thinks that his old buddy Sonny Hayes is that spark there. So I don't know. The movie does reveal whether that is the case or not. But you see, Ruben Cervantes and Sonny Hayes, and they're just broing it out. Yo, what's up, dude? Hey, what's going on there, brother? Yeah, hey, come on, let's go grab a brewski over here, man. Let's go hang out at the bar, or whatever. Hell, whatever. They're bros. I mean, Javier Bardem is as far from Anton Chigurh as possible in F1, and it's just kind of weird to see in this movie right there. And also, real quick, let me remind you, or let me ask you guys, if you would, in the chat, since I'm using this new studio software here, let me know if you can hear me. Okay, because as you would imagine with software, there's all kinds of buttons and stuff, and so it is entirely possible that I'm talking into this old mic right here, and you guys can't hear shit. Okay, so let me know in the live chat there if you guys can hear me. Okay, for you guys, it may be a bad thing that you can hear me coming in loud and clear in the chat right there. Like, we don't want to hear anything you have to say there, knucklehead. No, not at all. Now, I said this when I reviewed Gran Turismo. So remember Gran Turismo came out a couple of years ago. It was about the characters Jan. I think his name is Jan Mardenborough. He's like this British kid, 19, 20, 21 years old, something like that, where he always played the Gran Turismo racing simulator, and he was really good at it, right? And then you get this marketing guy for I can't remember if it was for Nissan or Sony or something like that, but he comes up with this idea to have all these people that have played the Gran Turismo racing simulator try to race cars for real, okay? And so that was basically the foundational premise of Gran Turismo. And then Jan Mardenborough, he goes on to become this great, or become a driver who can at least hang with the, I guess, regular F1 drivers in Gran Turismo. And I love that movie, Gran Turismo. If you've seen a number of my episodes here, a number of Movies Merica episodes, you know I just will not shut up about Gran Turismo, because I thought it was the pleasant surprise of August 2023 when it came out. Unfortunately for it, it got its ass beat by Saw 10 and like the Paw Patrol movie or something. It's okay, maybe like number 3 on that weekend there. But since it's been on like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon or whatever streaming services it's been on, or on demand, it's kind of got a cult following. I hear more and more people talking about Gran Turismo and realizing, oh man, this is a good movie. I should have went and saw this at the theater. Yeah, no shit. You should have went and saw it at the theater. But hey, too late now. You snooze, you lose there, pal. But so yeah, like I said, you know, I'm going somewhere with this, everybody. Okay, so about F1 and sports movies, and in some of the comments I've heard about this. I said this when I reviewed Gran Turismo. Yes, in sports movies there are tropes, there are similarities. I mean, by the nature of being a sports movie, there are similarities. There's teams, there's teammates, or someone who assists you in said sport. There's wins and losses because it's sports, right? There's feel-good moments and down moments, again, because it's sports, et cetera, et cetera. There's a bunch of similarities between sports. There's a bunch of similar just things that are endemic about sports, right? So, of course, there's going to be similarities in sports movies, you know, things we've seen in past sports movies, you know, a last-second goal in a hockey game, or, you know, someone draining a 3 at the last second, you know, from the top of the key, or, you know, football, an improbable catch in the back of the end zone, or, you know, or something like a down on his luck player that no one expected much of, but he comes out and he becomes like this big superstar. I mean, like, that's happened in multiple sports and whatnot. So just because it's happened before in movies doesn't make it a bad thing there, because it's a formula, right? People call it a formula, you know, having a sports movie and having a feel-good moment at the end where maybe like the underdog team comes from behind and wins and that kind of thing. And some people think that's a bad thing, but, you know, or that formula is a bad thing. It must not be a bad thing, because with a lot of sports movies that use that formula, people keep coming out for it. And so using that formula, that's just giving people what they want. And last time I checked, there's nothing wrong with that. All right. People, in life, we go through too many things where we don't want it, right? Too many things where we're like, I don't want that. But, you know, a good sports movie that follows a good feel-good sports movie formula, we do want that. And so it's refreshing to get a movie where, hey, I know how it's going to go down. Yeah, I know that these guys are going to win and these baddies are going to lose, but I'm going to feel good at the end of the movie anyway. I love it. It's awesome, okay? And so that all being said, that's why it tests my gag reflex when someone thinks they're being profound when they bless us with their epiphany that other sports movies have similar moments, all right? I mean, what are sports movies supposed to do? Make up new fake rules for the various sports that they're doing a movie about, and pretend the personnel associated with the different types of sports just don't exist, so they don't come off as tropey? I never got that. I mean, you know, when you see these film reviewers trying to be snarky, and they're like, you know what, this football movie over here 5 years ago, it had somebody scoring a touchdown, just like this football movie that came out this last week had. Like, no shit, Sherlock, it's football. If you have a football movie 5 years ago, and you have a football movie coming out right now, guess what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they're both gonna have somebody scoring a touchdown in that movie. Okay, I mean, there's gonna be similarities, between sports there. But I just, some people, it's amazing how they just in their quest to be snarky, right? And impress nobody but themselves. They think they're impressing other people by being snarky and being these snark sharks, but they're not. They're only impressing themselves right there. And so the way they impress themselves is being stupidly, unnecessarily snarky about movies and all of that stuff right there. And then, another thing I have to say about F1 is I like the little moments in F1, like when the blonde female pit crew member, she screws up and she's got like the air ratchet or something like that, and she's like, she loses a nut or something like that or whatever, and it slows down, their pit crew time or their pit time, right? And then Joshua, played by Damson Idris, the younger driver for the Apex GP team right there. He just gets on her ass, right? He just rips her a new one. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you even on the team? Like, of course it's you that screwed up, right? And then Sonny, being the old school chivalrous type that he is, just tells her, hey, don't worry about it. This guy's an asshole. Like, just don't worry about it. We all make mistakes. And then later on, that female blonde pit crew member happens upon Sonny. And he's in an ice bath or something like that, and she's like walks in, and she's whatever, and she happens upon him. That's the point. And there, she tells Sonny not to do that again. Don't like try to be a gentleman and stand up for her, because it makes her look like she needs someone to stand up for her instead of her, being an independently strong woman, right? And so, but to be honest, though, really, I mean, she did need him because she just stood there speechless when Joshua was riding her ass about that. She was just standing there. It's like, so apparently she was too shell-shocked to do anything, so she did need Sonny to step in. Now, that's at least how the scene is written, okay? Now, in real life, who knows, whatever. But, I just thought that was kind of a nice little moment where even the supporting characters, particularly like the crew members, the pit crew, how they get to be involved in the movie there. So that was pretty cool with that. So let me do this here real quick. Gonna do a little housekeeping here. Do a little calculative move up in this biatch over there. There we go. And what do we got over there? And yeah. So there we go. Where I'm always like making moves on the fly over here with this show right here, just to enhance this show for you guys right here, because I want to keep this show light and on its feet and entertaining for you guys right there. So, and of course, as you guys probably know here, we're on, this show's live on Rumble and YouTube up in there. And what do we got there? We've got, let's check this out. All right, there we go. James, hey, good to see you, and glad to check that out right here. And no, I have not caught it in IMAX yet, but I am going to fix that this weekend right there. So I originally would have caught it on IMAX the first time, maybe 6 months ago or something like that, because at that time I did live in a big major metropolitan area where I had an IMAX screen like 20 minutes away from me. But now, if I want to go see something in IMAX, I got to drive almost 2 hours to go see it right there. But that's not going to stop me, James, right there. And I am going to check that out. Yeah, and I'm going to check out that incredible experience and that much more immersive experience there this weekend. Because, yeah, I'm getting sick of hearing everybody going, and it's not them that I'm sick of. It's me getting sick of myself because I haven't been able to see it in IMAX. And everyone's like, if you can see it on IMAX, that's the way to see it. See this movie, F1, you've got to go see it on IMAX. And in contrast to seeing it in IMAX, the regular movie theater that I went and saw it at, the non-IMAX theater, the non-PLF or premium large format theater that I went and saw it, it is what I would comfortably describe as a ghetto theater. The like one of the backlights or the whatever, something that controls the brightness on the theater screen. It consistently the screen at this theater in their top of the line theater that they're always promoting. Just the picture is just dark. All right, it's not bright enough. And so that's the first way I saw F1. Okay, so yeah, James, when I go see it in IMAX this weekend right there, I'm sure that movie's going to start up, and I'm going to be like, oh my god, like it's just going to like hit me like a ton of bricks right there. So and I love it. It's going to be fantastic right there. And yep, absolutely. And having worked on the film, nice. You can't rely on dumpster fire cinemas. IMAX is always to go. That I would agree with that. You and I park our car in the same garage on that one right there. And I actually, I do have a theater coming up here in the next few months that supposedly is going to be very close to me, where it's one of those small town theaters, like it's maybe like a two theater. Does that make sense? But it's one of those things where it's run by someone where they just love movies, right? And so they're not trying to create this like 27 theater Cineplex, right? They just have this personalized like small town theater, and they care about like they want the great sound, the great picture, and they are going out of their way to make sure that this, even a small town theater that is the last theater that you would expect to have great sound and great picture, is going to have that right there. So there's like a true cinephile, and so I'm hoping that it's going to be a great theater right there. And James, did I misunderstand you? So you said you worked on F1 right there. Like, what did you do on the F1 crew right there, man? You've got my attention there. That's fantastic right there. But while we're waiting to hear from James here, if he's got something else to say about that, let me remind you that you guys can go ahead and hit the like button for this episode right on down below. And it's very easy. It costs you nothing, okay? But it helps this guy out right here, okay, if you are so inclined. And then also, hey, tell your friends, tell your family, hit the like button there as well. And you know what? If you're feeling it, especially industrious, hey, you can go check out all my old episodes and just hit the like button on all the old episodes. If you're really bored, and I'm saying you would have to be really bored to be doing that right there. But on this episode, another button that you can click on down there is the follow or subscribe button, and that's only if you haven't clicked on it already. And then there's the notification bell button down there that if you click on it, that just means you'll just get notified whenever there's a brand new, piping hot, fresh episode of Movies Merica waiting just for you. And then for my people that aren't watching live, if you're watching the recording of this show, this episode right there, first off, thanks for watching. How you guys doing? And we can still communicate back and forth with each other, okay? Because I still want to hear from you guys. And you can do that via the comment section down below. That's probably like where you guys were suspecting I was going. You can just hit the old comment section down there and just let me know. Let me know what you think. I mean, let me know, hey, do you think like I'm doing a great job on this show? Do you enjoy it? Do you hate it? Or are you like, hey, Van, I don't know if you have a day job, but if you don't have one, get one. And if you have one, keep it, because you suck at this. Or you might be like, hey, you know what? You are the reason live streaming was invented there, Van. Oh my God, you're fantastic. My God, you're the pinnacle of live streaming. Hey, you know what? If that's the way you feel, really put that on there a lot. That's all good right there. Okay. And wow, this is very cool. It's you're absolutely right there. Unfortunately, a lot of projectionists don't care about their showing, which is a shame. Most of the time, there's errors in color, Santa's channeling correctly. Real sad. Yeah, it's just part of that whole that culture that we see nowadays more, James, not just with projectionists or in the theater industry. Like, it's just an absence of people taking pride in their work, right? And I always chalk it up to this sense of entitlement, right? Everyone basically thinks that they should get paid $1 million for a 50-cent job, right? I should get paid a lot more for doing this job that anybody and everybody can do. Like, I mean, hey, people, that's the way it works. Is the less people that can do your job, the more likely you're going to get paid a whole lot. All right. But if it's if it's something like, you're a sandwich artist at Subway, no, you're not getting paid $80,000 a year to be a sandwich artist at Subway, because pretty much everybody can do that job right there. Absolutely. And very cool. James is part of the VFX visualization team right there. Well, tip-top job to you and the team there, James, right there, because yeah, and I'm not one of those guys that gets all anal about looking for flaws in visual effects and CGI and all that in movies right there. But I didn't see anything that, where I didn't see anything in the movie where I'm like, oh, that's CGI. Oh, that's visual effects. Oh, and on top of that, they're very bad visual effects. Like, I didn't see anything like that. Now, and James, I'm sure you know this, there's a lot of, now, I don't know, I'm saying a lot of people. There's those people that are just out there just chomping at the bit to like just critique CGI and visual effects and all that in movies right here. But in terms of F1, tip-top job right there, because I couldn't tell there. I mean, obviously there was CGI in some parts, but I can't tell where they were at. And just, along with, Claudio Miranda and cinematography on this, and the camera setup, in the cars and that kind of thing, and just being able to like that camera, that one camera where you can like whip it around like 180 degrees or 360, just stuff like that, along with the visual effects, right, James, and just makes this just like an eye-popping movie to behold here. And it's about damn time, because this is a movie where it gives people what they want here. And I hear people talk about like, oh, well, this is this is like it harkens back to the 90s, and this is just giving us tropes that we've already seen and whatnot. Who cares if it's what people want? Then hey, that's what I love about it. I love this movie. What I want more of this. I want F1 the sequel right there. And James, you may know more about that than I, but I know I'm hearing like people are already talking about, oh yeah, there's going to be an F1 sequel, and boy, if they don't do that, then they're just throwing money away, because F1 is making a lot more money than a lot of people would have expected, just because it's not part of a popular IP. It doesn't have like that built-in IP other than F1. F1 is obviously a known sports league, but it's not. It doesn't have the Star Wars label on it, or the Marvel label, or DC or anything like that. Okay, so that's so it's overperforming there, and thank God for it. I want this to encourage Hollywood studios to do more of this, and good for Apple. Apple's got, I think, their first theatrical hit here, and if they keep doing it like this right there, they're going to have more on their hands there. So, but yeah, that's awesome there, and you're right there. Visual effects done right is Invisible F1, for example, had a bunch of shots that were vehicle reskins. I can't say about the rest, but I know they did as much practical as possible. So, yeah, the only thing that I know about that is I did hear that you guys took like F2 cars, and then you guys put like F1 bodies on the F2 cars or something like that. So a lot of kinds of like cool different things that you guys did there. And yeah, it's there we go. I have no idea about a sequel, but it would have been but it would be a missed opportunity if not. Been out of work for a while now. Worked on it during the 2023, so a while ago there. So yeah, it's one of those things where they got to do the sequel, got to get it in there, and I'd be interested to hear, James, what you have to say about about visual effects in general. I always heard that with the Marvel and the DC movies, a reason that the visual effects are going down in quality on those movies right there, and I will totally agree with that. I think on those movies, the visual effects are going down. Isn't necessarily a lack of talent with the visual effects artists. It's just that DC and Marvel pretty much treat these visual effects studios as like chattel slaves or something like that. They're like, oh, yeah, we want you to do this shot and that shot and this shot. Oh, and then 5 minutes later they come back. Oh, you got finished with that shot? Oh, well, we just changed that. We scrapped that whole thing. So now we want you to do this shot and that shot and that shot and that shot. And by the way, we need it done in 5 hours. Okay, so get on it. So, so that's what I always hear is the reason why the visual effects in Marvel and DC are kind of subpar, and I can believe that. I could definitely buy that there. So, and also on top of that, I think what's working against DC and Marvel is we're just so inundated with these, movies that are chock full of visual effects, and you get numb to it, right? I mean, in terms of like Marvel and DC, how many movies can you watch where someone is trying to destroy the world, and then at the last second, at the end of the movie, their plans are foiled, right? Like how many of those? I mean, it just gets kind of old, and so that's why I've always said Marvel should probably just take a break, but they won't because there's too much. They think there's too much money to make, but how much money are you making if all your movies are flopping? That's all I have to say about that. So, but yeah, all right, moving on here, and real quick here, if you guys would follow me also. You can follow me. I'm on Rumble. I'm on YouTube. You have to do a little searching on YouTube. Just type in Movies Merica, and I'm not going to come up right away in results. You're going to have to do a little scrolling, and then you'll see like one of my Movies Merica episodes come up. Just click on Movies Merica, and then it'll come up with like Till Death Podcast Network. Just follow that right there. I'm on X. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Gab there, and I'm on all those platforms under at Movies Merica. That's why it says it right there. Okay, at Movies Merica. And hey, if you DM me, if you direct message me on my at Movies Merica X page, and let me know that you followed me on this platform and that platform and that platform, I will follow you back there. Yep, because hey, friend, you did me a solid. I'm going to do you a solid right there. Absolutely. So. And there we go. Let's check this out. Man, James, I'm getting all kinds of getting a good education from you here. Visual effects quality is 100% a time thing. Yeah, studios have to bid/fight for sequences for as cheap and as quick as possible. Guardians 3 was stunning as Gunn knew what he wanted and wasn't making it up. Yeah, I mean, how about that, right? How about that thing called being prepared, right? And James Gunn, that's at least one good thing that he's good at is I mean he's one of those guys, like he really wants to give audiences an entertaining experience there. Okay, he's not all about lecturing and educating. He's all about, hey, why do people go to the movies? Well, to be entertained. Okay, whether it's a historical, an historical movie or a big popcorn box office movie that makes your eyes pop out of your head. He knows that. So yeah, he's going to plan ahead to make a movie that, even he, after, having made the movie, is going to watch and go, oh my God, what a great movie. This is awesome, especially in IMAX there, like you said there. But anyway, so yeah, I'm already thinking about going to see F1 in IMAX this weekend. I can't wait. There, it's going to be just so monumentally very, very cool. And since I have to drive further, I'm just going to appreciate it all that much more there. So that's I'm trying to put a little I'm trying to make lemonade out of lemons over here. That's for sure. All right, let's do this here real quick, and I just want to show you. So not everyone is picking up what F1's putting down right here. And I watch these videos, and you know what? Hey, people can have their opinions. That's fine. But every once in a while, you see someone with an opinion that you don't like, and that in and of itself is okay. I don't have a problem with that. We're all entitled to our perspectives. But these ones are they just kind of go over that line, that annoying line, that pretentious line that they deserved to be featured on this episode a little bit right there. And I don't know if you're going to find it as funny as I did, funny / gag inducing, but so this first one right here, this is this one, it's someone who normally covers F1, okay, but I'll just let you talk, or you hear it yourself, and you can make of it what you will there.
Another coffee break video, and I know you're probably wondering, wait, what's this video? What's going on? How is an F1 YouTuber not going to watch the F1 movie? So, let me explain. So the F1 movie, literally just titled F1. Obviously, the movie hasn't come out. I haven't seen it. Most of us haven't seen it. So we don't know 100% what's actually going to be in the movie. The female lead of the movie is Sonny Hayes, race engineer.
So she's already admitted she doesn't know what's in the movie. She hasn't seen the movie, but she's already saying she's going to boycott the movie here. Okay. Does that seem like a very sound thought process there with that? Isn't that just, I don't know, call me crazy. I think that's a little bit presumptuous there. And then did you notice like how she uses the word literally in that? What is it with these snarky, self-flagellating, profoundly unprofound, mirror-kissing smug bugs always using the word literally, okay? It doesn't make your point any more valid, so just stop right there. And she says she doesn't want to promote the F1 movie, yet she draws attention to it by making a video about it there. So so she's going to boycott the movie before she has all effects. And she's not even going to get a chance to see James and his team's great visual effects over here. Come on, lady.
Who is played by Kerry Condon. And one of the side plots of the movie, and this is literally in the trailer, is that she's having sex with Brad Pitt's character. Or maybe they're even in a relationship. One of the other things we know about her is that apparently she's bad at her job, because supposedly there's at least one scene in which she gives Brad Pitt the wrong strategy, presumably causing him to lose the race. I would like you to consider all of this for a second, and then consider this question. What image does this create for women in motorsport? How does this represent or enhance the representation of women in F1? And the answer is, it doesn't. If anything, it sets it back. The representation that we're getting here of women in motorsport is that not only are they bad at their jobs, but they're also just there to be eye candy for the men and to be having sex with them behind the scenes. Is this the image that F1 wants to give about women in their sport or in other areas of motorsport? Is this what they think women contribute to the sport? Just a pretty face and bad strategies? It is honestly so heartbreaking that F1 has the gall to cast this image of women into this movie. Like, what year are we in? Jesus Christ. And on top of that, it also doesn't help to create a positive view of female F1 fans as a whole. All this movie is gonna do is perpetuate the stereotype that F1 is only for men and that the women who like it don't actually know what they're talking about. With all this in mind, I can't help but wonder what Lewis Hamilton's involvement in the movie is, considering that he's supposedly a feminist and an advocate for women in sports. I suspect that Hamilton was only hired as a consultant for the racing scenes. I really don't know, but I hope it has nothing to do with the race engineer plotline, because that would be really bad.
Ooh, what is it about those eyes on these women like that right there? It's always in the eyes, isn't it? So it's just looking right. Whatever you do, don't look them right in the eyes there, because I can't imagine anything good's going to happen after that. But yeah, she's complaining about the technical director, greatly played by Kerry Condon. Kerry Condon's a great actress right there. I remember her way back in the TV series Rome on HBO. She was played a great character on the TV series Ray Donovan for a time. She was on Better Call Saul, playing a great character on Better Call Saul there. I'm not sure she was just in the Banshees of Inisherin. Okay, so which I'm one of the rare people that don't like that movie, but she was one of the bright spots in Banshees of Inisherin. The rest of the movie made me want to kill myself, but she was good. She was good in that movie right there. But yeah, Kerry Condon does a fantastic job playing the technical director on the Apex GP team here, and so this lady is complaining about how they show that she screws up and she's bad at her job. the movie portrays Sonny Hayes screwing up too. You know, they portray a man screwing up too, several times, as well as Joshua screwing up, and presumably the other drivers, all male, all dudes, screwing up in some way because they didn't win the race. So they must have screwed up in some regard because they didn't take the checkered flag, right? I mean, what'd she expect? Every movie or TV show to adhere to a strict feminazi code of portraying all women never getting anything wrong? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. So I think this, I mean, F1, it basically would just show people being human. All humans screw up. You know, man, woman, you know, adult, child, we all screw up. I screw up. Hell, you guys are probably thinking, hey, man, you're screwing up right now. You suck at this. Okay? So I just think that she doth protest too much right there. That's for sure. And see right there. Yep, absolutely. There you go. Exactly. Yeah, people can have opinions. Totally agree. But when you get in front of the camera, make sure you've seen the film. If she saw the film, Kerry's character is a badass and knows her stuff. Yep, exactly right there. And James, I'm going to talk a little bit later on about something like a scene that Kerry pulled off beautifully that I thought she was like, oh my God. She's like, she should be like a... Now, in this scene, she showed some female empowerment, okay? And she was hilarious, and she made her character more affable, right? And it made you want to root for her there. So I'm going to talk about that a little later on there. So now, not to be outdone, I mean, you know, you just saw Alanis Morissette on there with her her rank, you know, opinion based on her not even bothering to see the movie and get all the facts right there. Not to be outdone, we've got Beta O'Dork coming up with the video here, and I just didn't want to deprive you guys of checking out this guy who apparently thinks that he is just the guy that you've been waiting your whole life to see give an opinion on a movie right there. This guy, he just loves himself right there. You can just tell. But with that, you know, let's do it.
Like what would happen if you gave a freshman at NYU a year's supply of Adderall and $350 million. This video does not contain spoilers for the F1 movie because you can't spoil what was never a mystery. The F1 movie felt like what I imagine Disney World feels like for a 37-year-old father of 4. Also, this video is brought to you by computer-generated fireworks. I saw the F1 movie last night and I went into it totally blind. The only thing I knew was that Brad Pitt was in it. The too long didn't read of this review is that I think I had fun and the movie looked great, but it wasn't very good. My first thought upon leaving the theater was that this movie was Top Gun Maverick's evil twin, and I didn't even learn that they were directed by the same person until this morning. We've got a grizzled veteran who's talented but rough around the edges, a young, cocky rookie that butts heads with our main character, and a one-dimensional love interest that makes it 110% clear that there were no women in the writing room for this movie.
Somehow you'll be back in a fighter plane with your tail on fire.
The F1
What does this guy think? Like, how does he think that all women speak? Right? I mean, you're gonna have one woman speak like this, and this that's her persona, and another woman speak in this way because that's her persona. This guy must think like there is it isn't like they must think that all women speak the exact same way, or they're supposed to speak the exact same way. Right there. Oh. Can't see the YouTube video you're watching now. Let's see here. Let me try this. I've got it paused right now. Let me do this. I'm going to hide on stream. And then let's bring this back up here. Yeah. Were you able to see the first one there, James, that I had there? Because I did. I'm following the exact same steps that I did on the first one right there. I'm following the exact same steps for the first one or for the second one right there. But I don't know. Sometimes there's just things, you know, technical difficulties. How you're in the visual effects game, you have to work with software and technology and all that stuff, and you know things louse up sometimes and are out of your control. But we'll see. Let's see if this you guys can see it now.
One movie felt like a 40,000 square foot mansion with only bar stools for furniture. Hi, I have the Formula One movie salad. Can I interest you in any fresh, cracked, unsubtle exposition? Great. Just tell me when. They have a car that stinks, and the car needs to get better, right? But they can't rebuild the car till next season. So they need some edge that'll get their car ahead and make their car a little bit better. And Kerry Condon doesn't even come up with the idea. Brad Pitt comes up with the idea.
We need to build our car for combat.
So going back to what he was saying about, there was a grizzled veteran character in both F1 and with Pete Maverick Mitchell in Top Gun Maverick, or there's a young hotshot dude in F1, just like there was in Top Gun Maverick. There's a young hotshot guy in a bunch of buddy cop movies there as well. That's because, you know what? In real life, there are young hotshot people and characters and all that. And so, yes, you're going to have similarities between movies here, but this guy expects us to be like, you're right. I didn't see that before. Well, that was the last movie I'll ever watch. All right, I'm not watching movies anymore because there's similarities between movies. Oh, man, I am not watching it anymore. Like, come on. Like, just sucking all the fun out of things that people enjoy right there. So, yeah. Exactly, right there. Yeah, that's what I was about to say is like, yeah, he asked for an update. She's the one who makes the design and applies it. Okay. He's got the easy part. He's pretty much just saying, hey, give me a car that wins races. I could say that, right? I could say, hey, Kate, give me a car that goes fast or handles better and wins races. Very easy for me to say. She's the one that has to implement it here. So that's just amazing. And there you go. And yes, it is. Yeah, F1 is a team sport there, as she says in that scene. Absolutely.
How am I supposed to make that safe?
Who said anything about safe?
Sure, she engineers it and tests it and makes it happen, but it's not her idea. It's Brad Pitt's idea. It just felt like such a waste.
All right. Well. We got some folks joining us over here on the Rumble side right there. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge we've got Charlie Horns coming over here. Charlie Horns Plays is rating the show. Yeah, all right. I feel rated over here. I feel so vulnerable. And we got Lindy Rig 87 coming in. Vern, Joey DeBarba, and of course Charlie Horns Plays coming in. Yeah. And welcome to the show, guys, here. And hopefully I can keep you guys entertained here as we talk some F1 over here. But right now, hopefully you guys are really enjoying this dork. They're sitting here next to his stuffed whale.
Waste to have an accomplished woman in STEM do literally nothing but fall in love with Brad Pitt. The F1 movie felt like it had been generated by a large language model that had only been trained on Cars 2 and Apple keynotes. There was a truly dizzying amount of product placement in this movie. Firstly, it was an Apple original, so there were Apple products everywhere. And secondly, it's a movie about Formula One.
So, of course, this is one of the more common douchier takes that I always hear about it.
There's product placement in this movie all over the place. It's all over here. They had this over here and that over there and this over there. Product placement all over the place.
As if we can't see ourselves, right? And as if that's an indictment on a movie. Like, what do you want movies to do? Like, name everything generic? Hey, somebody busts out a box of cereal on the breakfast table. It says generic. Someone has a beer. It's a white can. It says generic on it. You're driving down the street. You see a bunch of restaurants. They're all called generic. What do you want? Like, I want things named after things in real life. I want there to be a Burger King and a McDonald's and Pepsi and Coke and Apple products. And I want all that stuff. I want this movie to seem as realistic as possible. I want it to seem like it's in the real world right there. So I always thought it was asinine. People thinking that's a profound take, like everyone's dying to hear, like,
there's product placement in movies.
Like, no shit.
Which itself is rife with product placement because every driver is sponsored by companies. So you end up just seeing 2 hours and 36 minutes of product placement.
again, the stuffed animal whale right there is a very nice touch there. So absolutely, just it just communicates seriousness. If nothing else does there. But yeah, we've got a guy here who most definitely thirsts for the first chick that I showed you, Alanis Morissette there, and probably woos her with videos of the Women's March on DC, edited and remixed to songs of the Indigo Girls and Melissa Etheridge. He's made her a Women's March the Pussy Hat Cut video to try to woo her there. And you see this guy, he tries for the Antonio Banderas haircut, but still has the voice of a mega beta barista, okay? He makes Michael Cera look like Jocko Willink, all right? And in this video, he's like a chatty Cathy doll of the douchiest takes we've all heard about anything pop culture, okay? He was just complaining about product placement like I was just talking about there, bitching that the main woman character was portrayed in any way other than personifying perfection, okay? Being genuinely shocked that a movie about race cars made for the big blockbuster summer season didn't have an Aaron Sorkin-style storyline there. Again, it's a movie about F1 and racing, and it's a feel-good story. A guy who, was a promising race car driver 30 years ago, and life has, passed him by, unfortunately, and he's got another chance of redemption, helping out a young rookie, and got this underdog team coming together to rise, like a phoenix out of the ashes, that kind of thing. Like, that's a great story in and of itself. Yes, is it simple? Right. It doesn't have to be Aaron Sorkin, okay? All right, it doesn't have to be a Coen Brothers movie. It's an enjoyable storyline. It basically, it had me personally pumping my fist from the end credits rolling on F1 till I got my car and drove way too fast home to that awesome Hans Zimmer soundtrack. Okay, I mean, it's there's nothing wrong with simple, and I'm saying that kind of more in a begging style, because I'm a simple person begging you that simple things are okay. Okay, but and then he spouts off that the characters weren't interesting because of his envy that these characters that these actors portray are much more accomplished than him. That's the only thing I can think of right there. You get these people that have these takes saying that these characters are boring just because they're like, yes, even though they're movie characters and you shouldn't be comparing yourself to them, it sounds like he kind of is. Kind of is right there. I don't know where that came from right there. Had to kind of, how you kind of bite your gums there accidentally right there? That just happened. But anyway. So, yeah, I think he's kind of got movie character envy. He feels kind of inadequate there. And so they kind of have those stupid takes like that right there. But I just thought that you guys might enjoy that. That's for sure. And yeah, there you go. I like that. I like these names right here, James. Like, yeah, they want brands called Vroom Dynamics and Scoot International and Burning Rubber Incorporated. Exactly, right there. And you know what? I'd like if you want to have like fun with fake product names like that, that's fine. But have like the real deal brand names as well. That's one thing that always drove me nuts about some sports movies back in the day, and it's obviously why they did it, but where you had movies about professional football, but they couldn't use like the actual NFL team names. All right, kind of like remember Any Given Sunday, where what was it, like the Miami Sharks, something like that, and then a bunch of other fake team names, and obviously they couldn't use the real NFL team names because there's no way the NFL was going to put their support behind a movie portraying professional football like Any Given Sunday did, right? So they have to use all these fake names. Same thing to me. Same thing with using too many fake product names in movies and not having the real deal. The McDonald's, the Burger King, the Pepsi, whatever, Chevy, Ford, things that make the movie look more realistic. Just too many fake brands just make the movie look cheap and inadequate there. And believe me, I know about inadequate. Oh, shit. Did I say that out loud? Oh, my God. There we go. And I like Joey. He looks exhausted from being so gay. Wait, you're not talking about me, are you? Was it ironic? Ha ha! Aha! Like that bird on Family Guy. Aha! Yep, there you don't you think? I love the Alanis Morissette references over here. And Joey DeBarba. Yep, absolutely right. 100% great take. Hans Zimmer is a great composer, and he there's been a few movies where I've heard the soundtrack to the movie, and I'm like, the soundtrack isn't that great. And then at the end, you see the composer was Hans Zimmer, and you're like, wait, what? But that's a rarity for Hans Zimmer there. Most of the time, he's on point there. And this is not the first Hans Zimmer soundtrack that I've played way too loud and drove way too fast to there. So, I mean, Gladiator, come on, everybody, right there. And then he did the soundtrack for another great racing movie, Rush, and a soundtrack for another great racing movie, Days of Thunder. Okay, Hans Zimmer's like 3 for 3 on doing racing movie soundtracks over here. So yeah, go all the way back to 1990 and Days of Thunder. Hans Zimmer did the soundtrack for that, and now he's doing the soundtrack for another racing movie in 2025. Absolutely, sounds awesome. And there we go. And yep, it made sense to have real brands mixed with appearances from Hamilton and other real drivers there. And I don't know about you, James, but did you think I was kind of torn because at the end of the movie, in the final race, it's Sonny Hayes, and he's racing Lewis Hamilton for the win. And I thought they're not going to have. I know Lewis Hamilton is a consultant and a producer and all that, but are they going to have him win this race? Totally undermine the fact that they've been building Sonny Hayes up, or Joshua Pierce to win this race, and also Lewis Hamilton's like, I'll be your producer, I'll be your consultant under one condition: I have to win the final race in this movie. I thought for a second there, I was like, I was thinking are they going to do that? And then they don't there with that. So it's awesome. And yeah, you're right. It makes the film more authentic with that. Yeah, Joey DeBarba. And you guys on Rumble, for some reason, it is not letting me show your comments on the stream right here through this new software that we're using right here. And so, so don't think I'm ignoring you guys and not putting your chats on screen right there. Normally, I would chalk it up to me being a snobby asshole, but not in this case. This is one of those rare cases where I legitimately get to blame technology right there. And Joey DeBarba says, whenever I search a badass soundtrack, there is name like Hans Zimmer or Max Richter. I also like, of course, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. They're always good. They're not just they branched out from 9 Inch Nails and they do movie soundtracks there. James Newton Howard, Thomas Newton. Who's some of the who's the guy who Lauren Balfe. He's like one of the understudies to Hans Zimmer, and Lauren Balfe did the soundtrack to Gran Turismo, and he did the soundtrack. I think he did most of the soundtrack to Top Gun Maverick, and then he did the last 2-3 Mission Impossible movies there. So Lauren Balfe is pretty good there. Way back in the 80s, everybody remember Harold Faltermeyer from the 1980s. He did the soundtrack to Beverly Hills Cop. He did Axel F, and he did the first Top Gun soundtrack. Harold Faltermeyer there. And so, yeah, he was a great soundtrack guy back in the 80s there. Of course, we have the classic John Williams as well. And then before he died, Jerry Goldsmith, John Barry, all the greats right there. I'm trying to think of some of the more contemporary, the nowadays composers, and then I'm completely brain farting over here. The guy that did the Batman, anyway, I'm not gonna bore you guys thinking about that there. So, and there we go. That's another good one. Yes, absolutely. So Ludwig Göransson right there. Absolutely. So yeah, Christopher Nolan uses him a lot. And then of course it looks like Ryan Coogler used him on Sinners. And Ludwig Göransson is good because so he has taken the place of Hans Zimmer on a lot of Christopher Nolan movies, because Hans Zimmer used to do all of Christopher Nolan's movies. He paired it up with James Newton Howard on The Dark Knight and Batman Begins. But typically it's just, not always, but typically it's Hans Zimmer doing the Christopher Nolan movies until he couldn't do, I can't remember which movie it was. I think it was it was Dunkirk. I think Dunkirk was the first movie that Hans Zimmer couldn't do for Christopher Nolan or something like that. And because I think he was wanting to do like the Dune soundtrack, because Hans Zimmer is like a big Dune nerd. And so when Denis Villeneuve was doing the Dune movies, Hans Zimmer was like, yeah, I'm not missing out on the chance to do the soundtrack on the Dune movies. So then, then cue up Ludwig Göransson. He comes in and does the music for Christopher Nolan. I think his first one was Tenet, and then Ludwig Göransson did the Oppenheimer soundtrack. And Ludwig Göransson, yeah, he's a great composer there. Look for the video where Ludwig Göransson is getting interviewed by Ryan Coogler, the director of Sinners, and Ludwig Göransson is telling a story about how he had to teach the guy who played Preacher Boy in Sinners, like how to play guitar before the film, because Preacher Boy in Sinners, he's this guy, he's supposed to be like this guitar phenom, right? But the actor didn't know dick about playing guitar. He's a good singer, but he didn't know dick about playing guitar. And Ludwig Göransson is explaining to Ryan Coogler like how they had to get this guy up to snuff playing blues guitar, no less, which is one of the harder guitar styles, like flamenco or something like that. So very tough. Michael Giacchino, I knew I saw that on the right eye right there. Yes, Joey DeBarba, great pull right there. Michael Giacchino, did the soundtrack for the Batman. Very nice, very, very, very well played there. But yeah, look for that video where Ryan Coogler is interviewing Ludwig Göransson right there. It's great, great, and it's a great video, and you also get a good demonstration of how good at guitar, blues guitar, Ludwig Göransson is there. So, all right, let's move on right here. Where are we at? Because you know what, I like to run a tight ship up in this Movies Merica courtroom. That's what I'm talking about there. And let's do this. You know what we should do here? Let's see. I don't know if we even have this up in here, because again, we're using a new. Yeah, we're okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Anyway, okay. Well, we're going to have this brew review time. We're gonna have to do it naked. All right, and don't freak out. No, I don't mean I'm not about to start ripping clothes off. No, I mean gonna have to do it naked because I don't have a brew review time video to use to perk up the segment. So, but hey, it's enough for me. I mean, it's enough that I'm here. I perk up every segment right here. Okay, I should be enough for you. Okay, is that what wives always yell at their husbands when they catch them going out to the strip club? I should be enough for you. So I should be enough for you for brew review time. I don't know why I keep doing that. What's that all about? But anyway, let's get to brew review time where I review a beer. And so tonight's brew that I will be reviewing is a little Iowa Light. Yes, Iowa Light there. And this is like your typical lager here. It's very crisp, very clean. I'm not getting any money from the brewery here, which is Limestone Brewers is the brewery that makes Iowa Light right here. And so it's a totally objective opinion, all right? If it tastes like piss water, I would tell you, trust me right there. Okay, so let me do this. I'm going to pull this mic a little further away because I'm seeing a lot of red over here on my audio interface right there. So I'm probably like I'm probably clipping all over the place on the audio. But anyway, about the beer, all right. I say the first word that comes to mind about Iowa Light is smooth. Okay, so I don't know if Rob Thomas, drinks a lot of this, because it's so smooth. I don't know. Sorry, that was terrible. I'm not gonna do that again. Anyway, but it is smooth. That nonetheless, it is a very smooth beer here. It's like your typical lager, very easy drinking. I could see myself, trying to cool myself off on the patio after mowing the lawn with something like this, in a hot summer sun, or maybe using it to drown your sorrows, in the middle of the winter during a snowstorm, sitting in your living room. Okay, it's good for hot, cold weather, all of that good stuff there. Like a typical lager, it's a light beer, so it's like, 4.1 alcohol by volume. The IBU on it, or International Bitterness Units rating on it, is a 9 because it's not bitter at all. Again, it's a lager, okay? It's not an IPA or something like that where it's just hopped all to hell and it's all bitter. No, not that there's anything wrong with it. I love myself a good IPA or a double IPA, but this is not an IPA. This is a good old, just plain old lager. And you know what, guys? I have to recommend this Iowa Light from Limestone Brewers right there. And just to prove that I would recommend it, I'm going to take a tug off this bad boy. Fantabulous. Absolutely. Very, very good. So yeah, let me get that a little bit bigger right there for you. All right. So you'll have to excuse me. It seems like I can't see here and I'm like bumbling all over the place. It is because I'm only wearing one contact lens today because the other one ripped. So I'm on half power. Okay. This Death Star is at half operational functionality. But anyway, there's Iowa Light right there. Check that out. And maybe you're probably not going to be able to head down to your local Gas and Gulp and just grab this. You probably have to go someplace like the Open Bar app on your phone or Uber Eats. They deliver booze or something like that. Some app like that to get your hands on that beer. All right. So, but hey, with that, everybody, that has been Brew Review Time. And then, of course, this is where I would normally play my Brew Review Time video, but I don't have it. So there we go. We're gonna make do. All right, let's check this out over here. I'm seeing some crazy stuff. All right. Yeah, there we go. Hey, James. Yeah, appreciate you. Checking the show out right there. I'll tell you, man, you provided a lot of great knowledge here. Basically, being someone that worked on F1 here, this F1 movie, and you revealed a whole lot of good inside stuff about the visual effects and all that stuff. So need to head off and definitely catch the next one here every Thursday night, and then I have a show every Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Central. So whatever that is on your end. I suck at time zones there. And let's see what we got over here in the chat. And there we go. All right. So checking out the Rumble. And let me know what you guys think over in Rumble too. If you guys if you want to let me know something simple, like, hey, what's your favorite Brad Pitt movie, or what's your favorite racing movie there? For me, my favorite racing movie up until F1 was Gran Turismo, which may sound like ludicrous to some people. Some people might be thinking like inconceivable that my favorite racing movie was Gran Turismo, like when there's Ford v Ferrari and Days of Thunder out there. But Gran Turismo was my favorite movie. And then Ford v Ferrari right after that. But now F1 is my numero uno movie right there. So yeah, let me know what your favorite racing movie is in the chat there. Or you could just put a shit emoji in the chat. That's cool. That'll work too. All right. And let me give you a heads up that we do have Movies Merica merch available there for you. Now, all you have to do to get your hands on some Movies Merica merch, like a Movies Merica t-shirt, is we have the Movies Merica merch link in the description down below. Okay, and you're going to be able to get Movies Merica t-shirt, but we don't just have t-shirts. We've got like pint glasses and flasks and shot glasses and phone cases and yoga pants and all kinds of great stuff there that have Movies Merica just emblazoned right across it. Okay, there. And we also have, like I said, the yoga pants. I mean, you get like movies on the left butt cheek and Merica on the right butt cheek there. I mean, what doesn't say class like that? There you go. But get yourself some Movies Merica merch. And then if you go down there and you put in the promo code movies in the promo code field, you're going to get free shipping off all that sweet, sweet merch, everybody. Yes, check that out down there in the chat or in the description going on up in this Movies Merica spoiler warning episode there. All right. So, hey, what, you thought we were done with F1? Hell no, son. Got plenty of F1 because we ain't done. There you go. And I'd say about F1, even the supporting characters get some good moments, okay? And the first one that comes to mind is when Sonny, Brad Pitt's character, of course, takes Kate out on a date, okay? And apparently Sonny said something that hit an old nerve on Kate. And then she just goes off on, she just has like this give it as good as you get. She goes off on this lone wolf rant towards Sonny, and it's glorious. And then she storms out. And you hear a little bit of the rant in at least one of the trailers for this, where you hear, I think she's doing the voiceover. She's like, "You're a lone wolf. You do it to yourself." You know, that's my stupid attempt at an Irish accent. So yeah, it's just a whole rant about him being a lone wolf, and then she just punctuates it with a good old F-bomb there, and it's just glorious to check this out. And she really just solidifies herself as a very affable, don't fuck with me character in this movie there. And you know what? Sure, she got mad at Sonny, but you know, as we all know here, fellas with women, your first instinct might be like, "Oh my God, I've screwed up so badly now. I'll never hear from that woman again." But it does the opposite. It stirs up sexual tension, and that's why, in this case right here, there was Sonny and Kate in this movie. I found their relationship very, very believable here. So, and then I think it's safe to say that I found F1 to be one of Brad Pitt's best movies. Okay, I think it's right up there with Fight Club. It's right up there with Seven. And now I know those movies are much different than F1 there, but it's right up there with them. I'll throw World War Z in there. Troy, which Troy gets a lot of hate there. I don't know why to this day, but a lot of people just bust out the haterade on Troy for some reason there. I thought that movie was badass when it came out, man. Good fight scenes, good bloody battle scenes and shit. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So it was very, very good. But yeah, F1's one of his great movies there. Moneyball, another great Brad Pitt movie. Inglourious Bastards. Of course, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's the one that won him his Oscar there. So it's right up there with F1. It's almost like Sonny Hayes could be like the twin brother to Cliff Booth, his character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because they kind of have a lot of the same mannerisms. They're both just kind of like, fly by the seat of our pants kind of guys, but, don't screw around with them because they can hold their own, and they will put foot to ass if you cross them the wrong way. Okay. But outside of that, they're very affable and fun and casual and kind of guy that's going to be very quick to go, "Hey man, hey dude, got a 6-pack in the fridge. Come on over, man. Come on over. Let's just sit on the patio and check out the hot girls, or come on over. The game's on." Just a very affable, personable guy like that. That's Cliff Booth in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And Sonny Hayes seems kind of like the same kind of guy in F1, but he's just a race car driver there, and and that makes him well liked by a lot of the other characters in the movie there. And hey, Crash at Nights. Hey, welcome to the show here on the Rumble side right there. And says kind of figured it would be. And yeah, I'm assuming you're referring to my take that F1 is one of right up there with Brad Pitt's great movies right there. Yep, absolutely. I stand by that take there. And yeah, Troy, exactly. You're right. Troy is epic. It's awesome. I mean, it's like one of the most entertaining takes on it's not the Odyssey from Homer. It's the Iliad. So yeah, I mean, have you ever tried to read the Iliad from Homer? Oh my God. So yeah, I would much rather watch the awesome Wolfgang Peterson movie called Troy with Brad Pitt there to learn a little bit about, Homer's the Iliad than to read that book again. Oh my God. Yeah. But yeah, Troy, great movie. But we're here to talk about F1, and F1 is a fantastic movie. And, it's a movie where you can take the kids. I mean, the only thing that really makes it PG-13 is that they actually get, 2 or 3 F-bombs in this? Like, usually PG-13 movies, you get one F-bomb and one F-bomb only. And so you better put it in the great spot, the perfect spot to make the most impact right there. But F1, it got like 2 or 3 F-bombs in it right there. And so that's the only thing that I can see some people are like, I'm not going to take the kids because I don't want my kid to hear their first F-bomb. Bad news for you guys. I guarantee it, your kids have heard a lot worse than a few F-bombs when you're not looking, okay? When you're not around. So, yeah, that's not enough to keep them from keeping you from bringing your kids to go see F1, that's for sure. And Crash Night. The new Troy is going to be ass. Helen is a tranny, pretty sure. Yeah, Helen of Troy, and what is it? She's she's the face that launched 1,000 ships. There, well, I guess in this case she'd be the face that sunk 1,000 ships right there, she's the face that kept 1,000 ships right where they're at, because no one's going to cross. No one would even cross a creek to go try to get tranny Helen back. So I can see it right there. And if it's on Netflix, she'll be black, and everyone in Troy will be black there. So, yep, that's the way it is. There's just some things you can just kind of set your watch to, like, if they're going to do a remake of It's a Wonderful Life, well, of course, everyone's going to be black. Okay, and that, so it's just Netflix is run by a bunch of white guilt liberals there, apparently, are there. So we got to they got to prove how down they are with the cause, how down they are. So, but anyway, I'm getting off on one of my tangents. Let's do this here. What are we going to do next, everybody? I mean, we got so much stuff we could do here. And let me double check here, make sure I'm not missing any chats going on here. And I think that's it. So, oh man, I just realized. So what I was going to do next is one of my favorite segments here with every Thursday night show, every Movies Merica spoiler warning show. And that is the movie military moment. But man, we don't have the video for that in here, the great intro. So we are going to we got some work to do this weekend there. So, but we're going to have all this in line. Like I said, we're using a new, video streaming studio software here. And we don't have all our T's crossed and our I's dotted and all our ducks in a row. But we will get this ship in ship shape and good to go here. But for right now, I'm gonna have to do this segment naked as well. Again, not gonna strip the clothes off. No, hey girls, and some guys, don't get your hopes up. You ain't getting the striptease you're hoping for. Okay, there you go. But this means I'm gonna be doing this movie military moment without any intro or outro, but it's all good. But I should start off with explaining what the movie military moment is. Okay, so I am ex-mil. I'm ex-military. I'm a veteran. And so veterans, service members, the military, our branches of service, our American military overall means a lot to me, okay? Because I know, like, what it does for our country, okay? It protects our country. Last time, you may have heard, we owe a shitload of money to a lot of countries, okay? And the only reason they don't come collect is because of our powerful military, okay? So to all those people that are out there going, oh my God, we spend too much money on the military. You should be glad, because if we didn't, China would be like, yeah, about that money you owe us. Oh, you can't pay up? Oh, well, we're just going to take it out your ass. Okay. Well, they would be doing that if we didn't have the most powerful military in the world. And so that's, the American military, the U.S. military means a lot to me, particularly those that have done so much for us in the military that they have been awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor, okay? And now you may be wondering and asking yourself, rightfully so, what the hell does that have to do with movies there, man? Well, I shall tell you, okay? So, as you would imagine, if you are awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor, okay, you didn't get it for being the best ass kisser on base, okay? You didn't get it for being the best mail sorter on the base post office, all right? You got it for doing something in combat where if you saw it in person, okay, especially if you saw it in person, you would be like, oh my God! God! Whoa! Wow! What the? Whoa! That's amazing! Oh my! Oh, he just got killed. Oh God! But he saved our lives. Oh my God! I can't believe what I just saw. That's never leaving my brain. It's making a mental imprint forever. I can't believe I saw that. Or if you saw, something like that, like, okay, so let's say like it's a Marine and he's on Iwo Jima, okay, and there's a Jap pillbox up there, and they've got their guns and they're about to aim it at all your buddies over there. Your buddies are about to get smoked, okay, and you got to save your buddies, okay, you got to save your comrades, and you're out of ammo. You got nothing. You got no ammo, but you do have one grenade, and you take that one grenade, you pull the pin, you jump on that pillbox, all those Japs. And sure, you blow yourself up, but you blow all them up too, and you save your buddies. Something like that, where you make the ultimate sacrifice, okay? Something where if you saw that on a big movie screen, on a big old movie screen in front of you, it would be a fantastic movie military moment, okay? So that's why I call it the movie military moment, and that is the connection right there. So, all right, let's do this here real quick and see. Do we have the sound? I wonder if we have the sound up in this biatch. Probably not there. All right, we're gonna make do. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it for tonight's honoree on the movie military moment right there. And our honoree for tonight is one Staff Sergeant William Gordon Windrich, who fought for us in the Korean War. Okay. Now, normally I would have like some badass warfare music playing in the background as I go through, as we learn more about Staff Sergeant Windrich right here. But you're just going to have to imagine it for tonight right there. Okay. But hey, you know what? I got to get all hydrated here before I start getting to this right here. So that's your chance. Hey, drink them if you got them. All right, there we go. Getting parched. All right. So, back to Staff Sergeant William Gordon Windrich. So, let's learn more about Staff Sergeant Windrich. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty as a platoon sergeant of Company 1 in action against enemy aggressor forces the night of 1 December 1950. Promptly organizing a squad of men when the enemy launched a sudden, vicious counterattack against the forward elements of his company's position, rendering it untenable. Staff Sergeant Windrich, armed with a carbine, spearheaded the assault to the top of the knoll, immediately confronting the overwhelming forces and undershattering hostile automatic weapons, mortar, and grenade fire, directed effective fire to hold back the attackers and cover the withdrawal of our troops to commanding ground. With 7 of his men struck down during the furious action and himself wounded in the head by a bursting grenade, he made his way to his company's position and, organizing a small group of volunteers, returned with them to evacuate the wounded and dying from the frozen hillside, staunchly refusing medical attention himself. Immediately redeploying the remainder of his troops, Staff Sergeant Windrich placed him on the left flank of the defensive sector before the enemy again attacked in force. Wounded in the leg during the bitter fight that followed, he bravely fought on with his men, shouting words of encouragement and directing their fire until the attack was repelled. Refusing evacuation, although unable to stand, he still continued to direct his platoon in setting up defensive positions until weakened by the bitter cold, excessive loss of blood, and severe pain. He lapsed into unconsciousness and died. His valiant leadership, fortitude, and courageous fighting spirit against tremendous odds served to inspire others to heroic endeavor in holding the objective and reflect the highest credit upon Staff Sergeant Windrich and the U.S. Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life for his country, and we salute you, Staff Sergeant William Gordon Windrich, for your sacrifice right there. And that is why you are tonight's movie, if I can say that right, movie military moment honoree there. So absolutely. So let's drink one for the good old Staff Sergeant. All right. There we go. So, yeah, I was reading that citation, and the whole time I was thinking, what did I do with my day today? There you go. Sure as hell it wasn't taking shrapnel from a grenade, that's for sure. As I always say, you guys don't have to wait for me to do these these movie military moments every Thursday to check out the heroic stories of these brave service members. You can go to cmohs.org/recipients, and you can learn all about these Medal of Honor winners there. Check that out. So fantastic. All right, let's see here. And all right, I want to make sure we got all our ducks in a row. All right. So just to let you guys know that there is an option that if you are appreciating what I am doing here enough, to maybe throw a buck or two my way, well, we do have just the way to do that in Rumble or YouTube, okay? And so if you're on Rumble, if you go down to where you type in your live chat message and click on the button with a $sign on it, it'll just ask you how much you want to donate my way. It could be a buck or two or however much you want to throw my way. And that's it. That's all you got to do. And that'll throw some money my way here to help provide braces for my 27 kids. Okay, I don't have 27 kids. 25. And then also, if you're on YouTube, if you're watching me on YouTube instead of Rumble, it works very similarly on YouTube. Down by where you type in your live chat message, just click on the button that has a dollar bill on it. And when you click on that, it'll just simply ask you how much you want to throw my way. And that's it. Very simple, very easy, okay? And that's only if you feel I deserve it, okay? I don't take charity. When I'm watching podcasts and live streams, I don't give them a Rumble rant or a super chat. I don't give them money unless I feel like they deserve it there, okay? Or I feel like, hey, I want to show some support or something like that. I'll do that. But if I don't feel that way, I'm not just going to throw money for no good reason. So that's only if you're compelled right there to throw some money my way, because you know what, I got to earn it. All right, and if I don't get any money there, the last thing I'm going to do is bitch about it, because like the saying goes, nobody cares. Work harder. Okay, there you go. Or let me amend it. Nobody cares. Work smarter. There we go. That's even better. And Crash that night said, I only have 10. There you go. And I appreciate the honesty there. So yes, I only have 10 cents. Maybe you're thinking maybe $10. I have 10 cents. That's what I have here. All right. So next week, the movie for next week here is going to be Jurassic World Rebirth. Okay. And I'm really, really hoping that this movie isn't going to suck. Okay. But I'm hearing whispers. That's all I'll say. I'm hearing whispers on the wind about Jurassic World Rebirth, and I'm hoping I'm not going to be thinking it should be called Jurassic World Afterbirth after I go see that movie. And Crash and I, no, 10 kids. 10 kids. Damn. There you go. Well, I mean, of course, Crash at Night, Nick Cannon is looking at both of us. He's like, rookie numbers. You got to step that up. Those are rookie numbers. My God. Nick Cannon just walks by women and impregnates them. He doesn't have to get anywhere near him. He just walks right by him. Boom, pregnant. Boom, pregnant. Boom, pregnant. Okay. I'm sure Nick Cannon does more than that. Okay. I get it. But yeah, Jurassic World Rebirth is the movie for next week. So that means this Sunday's Movies Merica Live episode will be a spoiler-free review of Jurassic World Rebirth. Okay. And that show comes on at 4 Eastern, 3 Central, 2 Mountain, and 1 Pacific there on Rumble and YouTube. That's the live. That's the way to watch it live, is on Rumble and YouTube, preferably Rumble. Okay. And yeah, you'll hear all about Scarlett Johansson's latest movie and, the 47th Jurassic Park World, whatever movie. I think they should just stop. Okay. But the last one, amazingly, the last Jurassic World movie, amazingly, I think it made $1 billion, amazingly enough. Or it made enough to people to green light this one right there. So if you're sick of Jurassic movies, stop going to see them. Okay, that'll send a message right there. But yeah, so then that means a week from tonight, then Movies America spoiler warning. This very show you're watching right now will be all about Jurassic World Rebirth. Okay, and again, I'm really hoping that I am not going to have to just have like the 5-hour energy all lined up in a nice, pretty little chorus line row right here to keep my ass awake for talking about a boring ass Jurassic movie. So I'm hoping that I'll be pleasantly surprised, and this Jurassic World Rebirth movie will be entertaining. Okay, just have some semblance of entertainment, for God's sakes. My God. And you know, it is directed by the same guy who supposedly directed Rogue One. Okay, which Rogue One, I know a lot of people hate that movie. That's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Okay, I know it's not part of the trilogy and the prequels and the sequels. You know, it's an offshoot movie, but I think it's one of the best Star Wars movies made. So yeah, he did Rogue One, did the Godzilla movie in 2014. He just did The Creator, which is a underseen movie a couple years ago. Gareth Edwards, pretty good director there, and but he made this movie, so it gives me really kind of I'm fighting for this movie to be good, and so him as a director, it's a good sign. It's a good sign. But anyway, enough about that movie. We'll talk more about that movie next week right here. All right, let's check this out here, and let's see if we got anything else here. And nope. So we are getting ready to wrap up this episode. Believe it or not, everybody here already. I know it's you're like, oh man, come on, don't go away there, man. Don't go away. I want you to be here forever. No, I know you guys aren't thinking that right there. But again, follow me. Feel free to follow me under @MoviesMerica on a number of different platforms. Okay, on X, I'm under @MoviesMerica. Facebook, I'm under Movies Merica, or Van Ebert on Facebook. Gab, I'm under @MoviesMerica. Rumble, @MoviesMerica. Now, if you see like more than one Movies Merica account on any of these platforms, it's very easy. Mine's one with a shitload of episodes on it, okay? Very easy. That's your telltale sign on which Movies Merica account to follow right there, okay? And then again, like I said earlier, if you direct message me or you DM me on my X account under @MoviesMerica and let me know that you followed me on some platforms, then I will follow you back on those exact same platforms, okay? Because you scratch my back, I'm going to scratch yours too in the most platonic way possible. There we go, okay? All right, so again, I want to thank everybody on the Rumble side that joined here and on the YouTube side as well. You guys are fantastic. And check out we got like Crash at Night in the live channel Rumble. Yeah, do a search for a Crash at Night there or Furry. I almost did it again. Sorry, Crash at Night. I did that earlier. I accidentally called it Furry Cast. It's Fury Cast. Fury Cast. Look, Fury Cast. Look up Fury Cast on Rumble. Check out all the great shows on that. My man Lindy Rig 87 was in here at least earlier. Check out Lindy Rig 87. Search for Lindy Rig 87 on Rumble there as well. All that good stuff there, absolutely. And there we go. All right. So it seems I just feel like I'm stalling here for some reason. I got to stop doing that here because I'm boring myself, and I'm sure boring you as well. But like I always say, everybody, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya.
Howdy, my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Would you do me a favor and check me out at solo.to/moviesmerica? That's where you would go for a one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with me, Movies Merica. And then also, if you want to check out the audio-only podcast versions of my Movies Merica live episodes, that's my spoiler-free reviews that I do on Sunday, you can go to moviesmerica.com or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, places like that. And then, actually, if you would also check me out on the social media sites like X and Instagram and Facebook and Gab. And I'm on those locations all under @MoviesMerica. So it is very easy to find me out there, all right? So get to it, everybody. All right, thanks for watching. Later.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got a popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right, thanks for watching.